the operations director of habeshaview.
Lovely. Can you tell me why it's important for this Ethiopian culture to be portrayed in London?
Well, multiple reasons. One of them is that, as you know, Ethiopia has a hugely rich culture that we should be sharing with everybody else. And the film industry is one of the way of sharing that. So we've got our own language, we've got our own original stories to tell, we've got our text, all the dialects, all those needs to be shared. So the only way we can think about transferring that is using film, documentaries and such like. That's one of the reasons we think it would be a good idea to actually do it in London, because London is pretty much very centred to the theatre industry or the film industry, despite what Hollywood might say. So we think that would be a good way of introducing it, yeah.
Fabulous. Can you just tell me what Ethiopian cinema tells us about culture?
So for a lot of people, what they know about Ethiopia is all very negative. So you're thinking about political problems or famine or such like. But I think through cinema we can actually transfer some of the traditional and norms of Ethiopia, the culture, the language, how we portray ourselves, as well as a very rich history, which I said earlier, over 3,000 years old. So trying to transfer that into films so that people can actually watch and learn on their own, rather than having to listen to some very popular music or popular news articles that might distort some of the actual story we have of our own country.
So tell me about habeshaview.
Well, habeshaview, as a lot of people know, it's actually started as a streaming platform. We set it up in 2015 in the US. It was purely to actually have Ethiopian films on board that people can watch on demand. After about 2 or 3 years of having it on board for free services, we decided that it needed to be made into a fee or subscription based. We turned it into a subscription based. At the moment it has 8 categories, so from news, drama, music, sport, lots of other things. So it's turned into a streaming platform which is similar to one of the biggest streaming platforms. So that's what it does. So we do the streaming platform, and then we do films like this. So this time we've got 3 days of film, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So we're bringing films into London for the audience to be able to watch. At the same time, we've got a third angle to it, which is actually we've built our own white label platform that we are now licensing out to third parties. So those are 3 sides of the habeshaview company.
Okay. Tell me why you think it's important for this culture to change.
I suppose in many ways we learn about different countries through films. So a lot of people would know various landmarks in New York or London. They may never have been here. So the landmarks are very important because they're thinking, oh, that's Big Ben, or that is, whatever. Many because they've seen them in films. And that is a really powerful message for tourism, for cultural exchange, investment, which is a big deal. So people become familiar with various locations that they feel that they know it well enough to go there for as tourism. For us as a company, it's actually supporting the Ethiopian film industry and the filmmakers. It's a very difficult business to be in Ethiopia, as it is in most places that we've seen through COVID. For Ethiopia mostly, because financing film is a luxury. So you don't have a very wealthy executive producer that will have unlimited amount of money. So it's a struggle from day to day for filmmakers. But by bringing films to something like London, like we've done the 3 films this weekend, that we are actually drawing attention to the importance of film and hopefully get financing and other things to go with as well.
And how did you pick the films that you showed?
Oh, it's one of those questions. So getting a film week together takes about a year to plan. So we book the venue 6 months before, we have everything planned. 6 months before we have the films chosen. 3 months before everything is set into place. A month before we sort of promote. The 3 films we've chosen, Simet, which was shown yesterday, it's an epic drama set 400 years ago in Ethiopia, the historical battle between princes, beautiful scenery, great culture. So that was a sold-out event yesterday. Today we have Hirut. Hirut is an iconic film. It's a very old, vintage film, and it's the first film ever made in Ethiopia. So that's in 1965. That's a lot longer than any other films have been in Africa. So that is a given. it's very important that we chose that one. And we're looking, again, sold out today, so we're looking forward to everybody watching it today. It is vintage, it is black and white. The sound and the screen will be very different, so I have to make sure that everybody knows that. And then, of course, tomorrow we have a comedy, Resfallagi. So a comedy of three young men who go to university. As we all know that they go off to university, they're expecting to have a job, they're expecting to be able to do, have their friends and things, and it's how they go through that experience. And it's a really good one. So we've chosen three very different films, mainly because the audience, some people want comedy, other people want something serious. So we've done three mixture. We're very pleased because we've got a sold out event. Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, thanks.
Thank you. On behalf of Habeshaview, I would like to extend a warm welcome for joining us today at the 3rd Ethiopian Film Festival, showcasing the work of the wonderful, talented Ethiopian filmmakers. This year, we are showcasing three original and wonderful films. The iconic and treasured film, Hirut, who is her father, that we're going to be seeing today. We also saw yesterday a historical epic drama, Simet, which I'm very pleased to say was a full house, and today we have Hildana and Yared from Hirut here. Thank you for coming from Ethiopia. Tomorrow we have a comedy, which is called Resfallagi, and it's a very fun film made by three young men going through the journey of being at university, finding life after university. And so for those of you who would like to see that, that will be at 2 o'clock tomorrow afternoon here at Ridge Mix. This year, we have worked very hard with Addis Ababa Cinema Administration Enterprise, the Development Bank of Ethiopia, Ethiopian Airlines, and we are very honored to bring you today's film, Hirut, here today with a permission of the Mayor's Office and Dr. Siri's office. Thank you again for allowing us to bring it to London for the first time ever, after 57 years of being made. So we're very grateful. So, a bit of a warning. So this evening's film is a vintage one, as we said, 1965. I'm sure none of us were born then. So technology and the sound, we have to allow for it. So you have to really watch it very carefully with loving care, because it is an old vintage film. So don't expect the blockbuster that we're used to now. That is a warning. And nobody is allowed to leave the auditorium. So most of you here are friends of Habeshaview in Ethiopia. So I don't have to tell you for very long how long our filmmaking has been. So Ethiopia has got a great history of filmmaking, culture, history, tourism, that I will have to let you find out for yourselves. Our film industry is growing extremely well. With that comes responsibilities. And that's showing a film here in London at Ridge Mix, and eventually all over the country in the UK. Will be a way to show Ethiopian films to become a mainstream film that we'll all be able to go and watch in various cinemas around the country. Ideally, we would also like to extend it outside of Europe, North America, as everybody knows that there's a lot of Ethiopians and film lovers of Ethiopian origin. Ethiopian Film Festival in London has gone from strength to strength and has become a firm favourite of the Ethiopian international community here in London. We look forward to many more years of bringing original, quality, entertaining content, in the process introducing Ethiopian films to the mainstream cinema. For those of you who are not Ethiopian but in the industry, the film industry, watch out for Ethiopian films, hopefully going to the Oscars, and we'll be relying on you to support it when your votes come through. There is a reason why you invited you. So I know we are a bit late starting, but as you know, it's very difficult sometimes to take traffic and people traveling. But what I'd like to do is a very short version of what I've said in Amharic, so that I don't take up so much of your time. After the screening, we have very short Q&A. If we can fit it in, I would like to have more time, but you know that the cinema does limit us on how long we can be here. If we have time, that will be allowed. Otherwise, we just have to do it informally outside. We have the lovely Samuel here who's come all the way from near London to do the Q&A for us. So በአማርኛ ቶሎ ብዬ ልናገር ያገሬ ቋንቋ ስለሆነ እንደምን እንኳን ደህና መጣችሁ። በጣም ደስ ብሎኛል ስለመጣችሁ። ይሄ የ3ኛ ዓመት ፊልም ፌስቲቫላችን ነው። እንደምታውቁት የኢትዮጵያ ፊልም በጣም ብዙ የሚሄድ ነው። የጀመረ ነው ሂሩትን የመሰለ በ1957 የተሰራች ፊልም አሁን ድረስ እንደዚህ አይኮኒክ ሆና መምጣቷ፣ ዲጂታሊ ደግሞ መቀየሯ፣ ደብረብርሃን ባንክ ጥሩ ገንዘብ ሰጥተው አስቀይረዋል። የአዲስ አበባ ሲኒማ ማስተዳደር ደግሞ ጥብቅ አድርገው ይዘውታል። እኛ እዚህ ለማምጣት ተቸግረን ያመጣን ነው። እዚህ እንደውም መጥተዋል ሊጠብቁ ፊልሙ ፈርተው አላመኑንም። እኛ የምንታመን ሰዎች እና በጣም ነው የምናመሰግነው ደብረብርሃን ባንክ፣ አዲስ አበባ ሲኒማ ማስተዳደር፣ ዶክተር ሂሩት ቢሮ ሲያጋጥም እባክሽ ደብዳቤ እርጅን እያል እያመጣን እንዲሁም ደግሞ የኢትዮጵያን ኤምባሲ ጊዜም ሰፖርት አድርገውናል። ኢትዮጵያን ኤርላይንስም አድርገዋል እና ይህን ፊልም ለማምጣት በጣም ችግር ሆኖ የጥሩ ችግር ጊዜ ያጋጠመን እና በጣም ደስ ብሎኛል። ሁላችንም ደስ ብሎናል እዚህ መምጣቱ። ቢቻል 450 ሲኒማ ያለበት ቢኤፍአይ ነበር ማድረግ የነበረብን። እየታደሰ ነው እሱ። ለዚህ ነው ትንሽ ቦታ የመጣ ነው። 450 seats at BFI with Christianity, but it's in renovation. ስለዚህ እዚቹ ጣፋጭ ሆና አይተናት እንደገና ሲመጣ ሁላችንም እንገባለን በማለት ነው። ከዚህ በኋላ ትንሽ ጥያቄና መልስ ልናደርግ እንችላለን፣ ግን ጊዜ ከበቃን ላናደርገው እንችላለን። ስለዚህ ቅርታ ብዬ ወደ ኋላ ውጭ ሆነን ልንካፈል እንችላለን ብዬ እገምታለሁ። ይሄ መጀመሪያችን ነው። የፊልም ኢንዱስትሪያችን እርዱን፣ እናሳድገው፣ ሲኒማ ሄደን እንግባ። ወደፊት ደግሞ ወደ ኦስካር የሚሄዱ ፊልሞች አሉ ብያለሁ እና ለምሳሌ ሄዳና እና ያሬድ እዚህ ያሉ በጣም ቆንጆ ፊልም ትናንት ሰርተው ነበር። ነገ የሚመጣ ፊልም አለ። በጣም ኢንዱስትሪያችን እያደገ ነው እና እንደምን ብለን እንርዳቸው። ምርጫችን ሲመጣ እንመርጣለን እገምታለሁ። የኛ ፊልም ወደ ኦስካር እንዲገባ ብዬ ነው እንግዲህ የማስበው። ብዙ ጊዜ እንዳልፈጅባችሁ ቀጥዬ ክቡር አምባሳደርን እጠራቸዋለሁ እዚህ መድረክ ላይ እንዲመጡና ትንሽ እንዲናገሩ ብዬ እባካችሁ ዌልካም አድርጉኝ። I'm inviting the Ethiopian ambassador to come to the stage to say a few words. Thank you everyone.
Good evening, the audience. I have prepared a speech, but the guest has taken a lot of time, so I better put it back. I would like to welcome you to the 3rd Ethiopian Film Festival in London. London is the center of arts and films. So unless we bring our films to the center of art development, it will be meaningless. So to pass into the Oscar stage, we need to pass through London. So as she has requested, I would also request you to support our films to reach the Oscar level. We have started almost 50-something years back in the film industry, but due to different reasons, we didn't reach the Oscar level. But surely, I can assure you, we will be there. Ethiopia has a lot of history and culture, a deep history and culture that we could share with the rest of the world. We have all the Abrahamic religions, Christianity, Judaism, Islam, and animic, all lives in harmony in Ethiopia. That's one thing we can share to the world, to live in peace and in harmony with each other. Ethiopia is also one of the oldest countries in the world. Lucy was discovered in Ethiopia. Most of you know about Lucy, the oldest human remains that was found by anthropologists dating back 3.5 million years. After Lucy, Salam was also discovered, close to 4 million years. So anthropologists make Ethiopia the origin of humanity. So that's another thing we share. We have been developing our culture, our economy. Recently, Ethiopia was registering a double-digit economic development in the last couple of decades. But due to conflicts in the northern part of our country, the last 2 years we have come down to 6%. But on average, that is also big. It's an African average. We want to sustain that to reach a middle-income economy by 2030. So we are working hard to achieve that growth level also. We are building infrastructure, investing on soft power. We have close to 100 universities in Ethiopia, public and private. So our young population is learning and preparing. Ethiopia is positioning itself to be a leading power, one of the 4 leading countries in Africa. Coming back to art and culture, it's not only our films and our plays, but I hope you know our famous athletes, long distance athletes, who shy away from getting silver and bronze, but they always want to get the gold, but there are our neighbors, Kenyans, who are competing. So we want to develop our art and culture and cinematography to that level. So I hope in the near future we will achieve this goal. Enjoy the film tonight. Thank you for coming. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'd like to invite Her Excellency Dr. Hirut, who is namesake of Hirut the film, and I understand that it was last shown. People will be confused to see Dr. Hirut looking so young and wonderful when she was in 1965. So I would like to invite her, with your permission, to come onto the stage and say a few words, because I don't think anybody else knows as much about the film Hirut as much as Dr. Hirut.
Excellency Ambassador Mellas, Ambassador Nefari Mellas, Ethiopian Ambassador to the United Kingdom, Excellencies, distinguished guests with all protocol observed, ladies and gentlemen. At the outset, please allow me to extend my warmest congratulations to the organizers of this wonderful film festival, and would like to express my heartfelt thanks to the coordinators for giving us a chance to display the age-old film product called Hirut, who is her father in Amharic, Hirut Abatomanu. Ladies and gentlemen, today, with due respect and honor, I stand before you to express few words about the first black and white movies produced in Ethiopia some 58 years back. The film is actually considered as the first cinematic Amharic film production on August 29, 1965. This first ever Ethiopian movie and made its inauguration at the Emperor Haile Selassie First Theatre, which is the present-day National Theatre, and produced by the National Film Corporation. The movie was considered as a model to all Ethiopian movies that followed. It was written by Ilala Ibsa and produced by Lambros Yorika. The film project was funded by the Development Bank of Ethiopia through the Ethiopian Film Corporation, with the prime aim to supporting and promoting the country's film industry. Due to some circumstance, it was not displayed to the public since its inauguration. In 2012, with the good will of the managers, the Ethiopian Development Bank gave these film products to the Ministry of Culture and Tourism for free. That was really very good decision. Therefore, I would like to use this opportunity to extend my thanks to the Ethiopian Development Bank for preserving and finally offering the film to the Ministry. This historic film was recently digitized by the Addis Ababa Cinema House Administration, which is under the Addis Ababa Art, Culture and Tourism Bureau, and the first display to the public in 2022 at the Sheraton Addis. The story of the film is about the life of the young and shy woman Hirut, who fell in love with a guy called Gosa. Producing a female lead movie was a giant leap forward for movie makers back then, touching on issues of single motherhood and the challenge of being a woman, where the world view you either as a wife, a mother, or a single. The issues which were raised by the movie still stand relevant in today's day and age, where women face the same challenge as in this day. Hirut is portrayed as a strong woman living for her daughter despite facing issues and the circumstances that made her an outset in the society. Ladies and gentlemen, as you may be aware, Ethiopia is a cradle of mankind with glorious history and termed as the land of origin. It is endowed with countless and amazing diversity and people with beautiful and authentic cultures. And I do hope that our country's contemporary film products will catch the attention of the international community and continue to get a chance to be displayed at well-known festivals like this. So I would like to use this opportunity to call up on the prominent figures in the global film industry to focus your attention to the country of ancient history, beautiful nature, and home to glorious culture, Ethiopia. Finally, I would once again to express my thanks to the organizers, habeshaview, for giving me the floor, and many thanks to you all for your attention. Thank you. ወይዘሮ ትዕግስት እኔ ትንሽ ለመናገር በዚህ ቦታ ላይ የኢትዮጵያ የመጀመሪያው ፊልም ለንደን መጥቶ በመታየቱ የተሰማኝን ኩራት በቢሮዬና በራሴ ስም መግለጽ እወዳለሁ። እናንተም ስለተቀበላችሁን እና ለማየትም ስለመጣችሁ እጅግ አድርጌ አመሰግናለሁ። ይህ ፊልም ከ58 ዓመት በፊት የተሰራ ፊልም ነው። የፊልሙ ጭብጥ እጅግ ውስብስብ የሆነ ሳይሆን ቀላል ሆኖ ግን የሴቶችን ሴቶች የሚደርስባቸውን ቻሌንጅ የሚገልጽ ግን ደግሞ ሴቶች በሚገጥማቸው ቻሌንጅ ራሳቸው መፍትሄ አምጪ እንደመሆናቸውን የሚያስተምር አሁንም ግን እሱ ችግር በአሁኑ ሰዓትም ያለ መሆኑን የሚያሳይ ፊልም ነው እና ዘመን ተሻጋሪ ሆኖ ስላገኘ ነው። ፊልሙ ሂስቶሪካል ብቻ ስለሆነ ሳይሆን ጭብጡም አሁንም የሚያስተምር በተለይ ሴት ወጣት ልጆችን የሚያስተምር ስለሆነ ለእይታ እንዲበቃ የአዲስ አበባ ከተማ መስተዳድር ግማሽ ሚሊዮን ብር አውጥቶ ዲጂታይዝ አድርጎ ለእይታ ድጋሚ አብቅቶታል። ስለዚህ ለእናንተም አዲስ አበባ ከተማ እንዲህ በማድረጉ ልታመሰግኑት ይገባል ብዬ አስባለሁ። እዚህ ፊልም ላይ እኔ ለየት ብሎ የማየውና የማደንቀው ሁልጊዜ የኢትዮጵያ ልማት ባንክ ነው። የኢትዮጵያ ልማት ባንክ ከ58 ዓመት በፊት ለሀሳብ ብድር ያበድር ነበር። ሰው ሀሳብ ይዞ ሲመጣ የመሬት መያዣ የገንዘብ መያዣ ሳይጠይቅ ብድር ያበድር ነበር። እሱ ባበደረው ገንዘብ ፊልሙ ተሰርቷል። ፊልሙ ከተሰራ በኋላ ግን ኮርፖሬሽኑ በመፍረሱ ምክንያት ብድሩ መክፈል ስላልቻለ ለ40 ዓመት ፊልሙ ታስሮ ነበረ። ከ40 ዓመት በኋላ ግን ልማት ባንኩ ይህን ምንም ላደርገው ስለማልችል መመለስ አለብኝ፣ እዳውን መሰረዝ አለብኝ ብሎ ከ40 ዓመት በኋላ 40 ሺህ ብሩን እዳ ሰርዞ ለባህልና ቱሪዝም ሚኒስቴር አስረክቦ መጨረሻም ደግሞ የአዲስ አበባ ሲኒማ አስተዳደር ወስዶ ዲጂታይዝድ አድርጎ ለዚያ አብቅቶታል። አመሰግናለሁ። መልካም እይታ።